I think so often when people, children in particular, see a highly successful person like yourself, they deem that as almost unachievable. So I want you to take me back to your childhood when money was scarce, when sometimes you had to fight for even food. What were those days like?
When you grow up poor, it's not like there are a lot of people showing off riches because most everybody else is poor. I guess television brought forth. You saw a success on television. The first time I saw success, I saw a helmet. They took off a helmet of a football player, and I saw the face of Jimmy Brown, the running back. I said, that's where I want to be. And I thought I was going to be a football player, not knowing there was other aspect of his life. Later on, I saw him in a jacket and a suit and a tie. I wanted to dress like that. And then you start getting role models, and that's where it all starts.
Well, those days, you're in Houston's Fifth Ward. What was it like?
Yeah, growing up in Fifth Ward, there's a good side of the street and there's a bad side of the street. There are a lot of people, of course, their aspiration was to come up on the good side, become lawyers and doctors and teachers, but that other element, didn't want to go to school, wanted to rob and steal and mug. That's the side that I walked on.
Well, it seemed like in reading your book, you wanted to learn, but because of maybe the situation you were in, the teachers didn't necessarily afford you the opportunity to do so.
And you'd be surprised, growing up in some areas, sometimes you can be spotted as a loser, and that's where, and you don't waste too much time on losing. And then you can be recognized early as someone who's got success on their mind. And a lot of teachers looked at me and said, you know what, you're not going to be anything, you're never going to be anything, and that's the way I decided I was going to walk on that side. But I had some things in my mind, just no one wanting to invest in them.
What effect did that have on you?
You get tough, you get mad, you realize, look, since I'm on this side of the street, I'm going to be the best there is. I'm going to be the best street fighter, I'm going to be the best mugger, and for some reason, that's the only success you want.
How long before you were able to say read and write?
Of course, we all learn to read and write, but did I want to read? Did I want to write? Not at all. As a matter of fact, I was about 16 before I read a book from the beginning to the end. First book I ever read, I can remember. And you don't want to remember I couldn't tell you what it said. She kissed him with her lips, but I read it, a whole book. I'd never done that before in my life in a Job Corps center.
And it must have been a great feeling. So you finally get a job, then you leave for the Job Corps, and then a gentleman by the name of, I believe, Doc Brodus takes an interest in your fighting ability. The first time you realized you had a shot at boxing was when?
Well, I was watching a boxing show, actually a radio show we were listening to. Muhammad Ali, he was Cassius Clay fighting Floyd Patterson. All the kids looked at me in a Job Corps and said, you big bully, you think you're so tough, why don't you become a boxer? And eventually I met Dr. Brodus in Pleasanton, California, and told him I wanted to be a boxer. He invited me down to the gym. I tried it out within a week. And let me tell you, I was terrible at it. I failed. I picked up the guy, tried to wrestle him. They had to stop me from doing all those things. So I walked away, but Doc Brodus stayed with me. He said, look, you stop fighting on the streets, I can make you a champion.
How much harder was it than you expected?
It was a lot harder because then there were punches like jabs and hooks, all those things I had not learned on the streets. I had to recreate myself, learn how to do all of this all over again. Things that I'd taken for granted that I could fight, I had to learn boxing. It was rough because I had to get up in the morning and run. All of the things about dedicating yourself to that didn't exist as a young boy to me.
You end up having great success. You end up winning a gold medal at the '68 Olympics. Then you're training with Sonny Liston. How much did you grow as a boxer from that point to your first heavyweight bout?
Getting an invitation, can you believe that? I was about an 18-year-old boy. I got an invitation to spar with Sonny Liston, who had been former heavyweight champ of the world, and I did pretty good. As a matter of fact, everybody started looking. Boy, you maybe had a chance. It boosted my confidence. Of course, the next year, I'm on my chance to make the Olympic team. That boost of confidence did more for me than anything.
Your only visible evidence of your boxing career, the only visible physical evidence, was sustained in that period, wasn't it?
Getting that little boost from Sonny Liston, of course, getting into the Olympics and getting a gold medal, that carried me on to whatever I obtained later on.
So for a while, Joe Frazier repeatedly turned you down. Then I guess the WBA put pressure on him to fight the #1 contender. So you get the word that he's going to fight you. Take me to January 22nd, 1973 in Jamaica. What was that night like?
Kingston, Jamaica. I kept hoping, you want to be champ of the world. You want to beat everybody. You say you're tough, but in reality, you don't want to fight Joe Frazier. They call him Smoking Joe Frazier because it's like someone pushed him out. A machine pushed him out of the corner. You knock him down, he get up. You beat him up, he keeps coming. I didn't want to fight Joe Frazier, but I had to fight him. Now I had my opportunity to fight for the title, and it was a frightening moment. I kept hoping it would storm anything over in Kingston, Jamaica. But I had my date with destiny, and I went into that ring as nervous and scared as I've ever been in my life.
He went down 6 times before it ended in the second round, I believe. How much did you think, if they didn't end it, that you were just going to kill this guy?
You know what? Joe Frazier had been down before and gotten up and down again. I kept thinking, if they don't stop this fight, Frazier's going to realize, you know what? I'm going to get up and beat George. I kept screaming, stop it, but I was hoping more than anything that they would stop it. I knocked him down 6 times, but each time he got up. Tells you about the man Joe Frazier is.
Muhammad Ali was a commentator for your fight in Venezuela, March '74, against Ken Norton. And Norton was a guy who had beaten Ali, then he lost to Ali in, I guess, a closely contested bout. So you knocked Norton out in the second round. How much and in reading your book you alluded to this, you just want to kill the guy?
Well, I was bad, and I kept hearing reports, George can't do this, George can't do that. So I decided, look, I'm going to go out here and kill one of these guys, and then I'm going to make everybody shut their mouths. Every mouth will be shut if I kill a guy. And that's the way I looked at Ken Norton. He saw that this man is not intending to box. He's trying to kill someone. Even Muhammad Ali said he once, George can't box. He's just trying to kill people. And I wondered, how did he know that? But it was fact.
So you knock out Norton. Ali's sitting ringside as a commentator. You look to Ali and say what?
I don't even remember him. I remember these guys, everywhere I went, someone was challenging me. As soon as they got in the ring, I'd put their lights out. So I didn't pay much attention to Muhammad Ali. It's just that he was surprised. He thought Kenny Norton could actually beat me. He was shocked. But then I guess his bravery started to increase as well.
All right, I read that in your book that, you knock Norton out, you look at Ali and you say, I'm going to kill you. And then that was one of the times you realized that maybe there was a little fear in Ali in terms of fighting against me.
I would look at all of those guys because I didn't look at boxers as another boxer. I'd look at them like, hey, look at that head, like a deer hunter. I'm going to put that thing mounted on my wall. I didn't have to say a lot. I'm going to do this to you. I didn't open my mouth. It was all in my eyes.
Don King comes to you. Your next fight's against Muhammad Ali. And how much does he offer you?
As a matter of fact, that fight with Muhammad Ali was signed before the Ken Norton boxing match. It was already signed, $5 million. And he told me after I signed the contract, we're going to give Muhammad $5 million. I said, great. I'd give him $5 million too to get in the ring with me. But it was a big purse, unheard of, $5 million each.
What was amazing in preparation for this fight, a lot of people came to interview you at your ranch, one of whom was Jim Brown. He's on an assignment for ABC, and he's interviewing you. Then the tapes stop, and he makes a comment to you. Do you remember what that was?
The comment blew me away. I'll never forget. I said, how's it going, Jim? He said, man, I'm just trying to get it together like you. I said, like me? And I'm trying to be him? That blew me away. For the first time, I realized what depression and frustration really meant. All these years, I was trying to get to where he is, and he wasn't anywhere.
How great must have that made you feel on the same note that, here's your idol, and he's saying he wants to be like you.
Yeah, I remember once he was in the hotel, and he told me, look, George, I'm having fun. Everybody's saying, is that George Foreman? People were calling him George Foreman in Las Vegas, asking him, was he George Foreman? But I didn't get any pride out of that because, remember, I was trying to achieve greatness, and I thought greatness exists. Come to find out, there was no such thing as greatness.